Welcome back. This is Nick Nitro, and I am the Lord of the Crucible. We've gotten a break in the weather, and I'm hoping it holds. So we're going to go ahead and finish up the testing phase with the drop test. Now the drop test is kind of extensive. We're going to be dropping this lightsaber hilt, the Crimson Dawn Banshee, a total of 36 times. There's going to be 4 drops at 3 separate heights. 1 drop on the pommel, 1 drop directly on the emitter, coming straight down. 1 drop landing right on the power switch. And then 1 drop somewhere on one of the other 3 sides of the saber. This will be done at about 3 feet, 6 feet, and 10 feet off of the ground. Now this will also be done on 3 separate surfaces. Normal, well, what passes for a Florida lawn. It's kind of like half sand. A standard indoor floor. And finally, over here, a 4x4 inch poured concrete slab. That's probably what's going to do the most. Now, like before, I am going to have the saber powered on. It's the best way to find out if something happens. But as some of you noticed in the comments from the last video, the very obvious reason why it normally shuts off and resets is the battery itself gets jarred and just comes off of contact. So I always try and turn it back on to see if everything's working all right. So with that said, let's go ahead and get it turned on and see if we can't get going. I do want to note that for all of the drop tests, all the sabers will actually have a blade plug here to help protect the emitter, the LED module inside the emitter. So, with that stated, let's go ahead and start with the drop tests. We're going to start from 3 feet, starting with the pommel. Okay. So far, so good. It did reset, but that's fine. Next, we're going to drop on the emitter from 3 feet. Rather solid thump. Still powers up. Next, we're going to drop straight onto the power button. Still active. Next, we're going to drop on a side that is not any side but the power button. Okay, moving up to 6 feet. Pommel. Emitter. Power button. And the back. Okay. Now we go up to 10 feet. Pommel from 10 feet. Uh-oh. Let's take a quick look here. The battery may have been jarred loose, so... There we go. All right. Next, the emitter.
You will die where you stand.
Here we go again. So far, let's take one more look, see if we can't get something to realign in place. Alright, we're going to take a break here and we're going to do a more detailed look and see if we can't find a way to get this to reactivate. If not, we'll go directly into our final assessment phase. Yep, let's see what we can find. Here we are. That was interesting. Okay, so had a chance to look at it. As you can see, it is still not powering on. But got to give you a full disclaimer here. This thing's a little tougher than it might seem. I had a couple of technical difficulties while doing the drop test. What's actually making it into the final edit is the third attempt. So, while it never made it over to the wood flooring, it did take a total of 24 drops, 26 drops, about 8 at, was it? 12 at 3 feet high, 12 at 6 feet high, and then 2 at the 10-foot height. So, but from what I can tell, and I plugged it in, it actually the board recognizes the charger. It's got a full battery charge on here, so whatever is occurring somewhere in the switch or the switch wiring. So, still, for that many drops, it's a tough little guy. Wouldn't recommend it for heavy dueling. This is definitely a cosplay light dueling, maybe a little bit of fanfic film work. I really do like it. It's got a nice grip to it. Like I mentioned before, it's got some decent dimensions. But, as you can see, we did take some damage. Now, this is with a mid-grade blade, and I think from here on out any further sabers that'll be tested will be tested using a heavy grade blade. I was actually very surprised to see how quickly this one creased. So maybe in the future, if I end up with another Banshee, maybe we'll try and run another test with a heavy grade blade. But until then, I'll of course continue working to try and get this one back up and running. But this one gets an honored place on the wall. It was the first in the Crucible. It is the one that set the standard. So it will always be in the collection, whether it works or not. In the meantime, this will be the next saber that we will be testing and reviewing. This is the Ultra Sabers Aeon V2. Now this has no sound, so I imagine the review portion is going to be a little bit shorter than what the Banshee was. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens, isn't it? Until then, as far as the Banshee is concerned, the Crucible has spoken. This is Nick Nitro, and I am Lord of the Crucible. If you've enjoyed today's video, by all means go ahead and click on the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to hear about new videos coming out. If you also want to help us out a little bit more directly, go ahead and check out our Patreon page and the link down below. Thank you very much, and until next time, the Crucible has spoken.